Yeah, so I woke up this morning and the first thought in my head was, after my morning run and a couple of exercises, the first thought in my head was, what if I don't comment? Of course, that was actually after dropping one comment. Is what if I don't drop comments on my X account and focus instead on trying to do 100 tweets today? And I'm like, that sounds crazy. But let's see if we can do it. And in that moment, I sat down with my phone. I'll scroll a bit and I'll type anything that comes to mind. I'll just type it as it comes. No much editing, no planning, and I was just posting it out there. And in an hour or less than an hour, I was able to do 21 to 22 tweets. And of course, if I batch it hourly by hourly, before the end of the day, I just need to go through 4 batches to be able to do 100 tweets. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I feel like the lesson to draw out from this is simple. Moving on with the flow of life. What is the flow of life? What does that look like on a broader perspective? Okay? Now, what that looks like is majority of the time, most of the time, when our heart comes up with something, when we feel like there's this thing we need to do, when there's a gut feeling, an intuition, instinctive feeling, whatever it is you call it, right? Inspiration of the Holy Spirit. Once this thing comes to us, we tend to question it, right? We place it under scrutiny with the mind, with the mind, and it fails that scrutiny. And I will explain. Let me use my example, for instance. If I had not acted on that thought, if I had not acted on that idea of seeing if I can do 100 tweets in a single day, if I had not started working on it, one of two things will start happening. Okay, one thing basically, I will start doubting if I can actually do it. I'll start doubting. I'll start coming up with reasons why I should not do it. And these reasons will be logical enough to actually push me away from not doing it. Reasons like, okay, is it possible to do 100 tweets? You're going to have writer's block. Why are you even doing this? Based on what everyone says, based on the standard on X, you need to actually post, do more engagement, actually grow your account. So why are you not focused on channeling those 100 tweets as comments, right? And whatnot. Like all of these things will come up and there'll be sound and solid reasons not to do it. And I won't do it. I won't do it. And that happens to a lot of us. We subject our gut feeling to the scrutiny of the mind. And the mind is logical. And when things when things have to do with the divine, when things have to do with God, when things have to do with intelligence, special kind of intelligence, if you know what I mean, it rarely comes with logic. It is rarely rational. You know how you sit at a place and your mind just tells you to go outside, right? Your heart just tells you to go outside. You have this feeling that you need to go outside. And then you go outside, and who do you find? A long lost friend, someone you've been meaning to see for a very long time. Now, if you had sat there and wondered why should you go out, should you take this particular step, which makes no sense at the time, then you wouldn't actually go out and do that thing or meet that friend that you would have met. And that makes you begin to wonder, why is it so? Why is it so? The reality is, the heart wants you to win, and so does the mind. But here's the problem. The mind focuses or runs on data, or runs on things it has experienced or things it has learned over time. And so when the heart is telling you what to do, the mind debates if that thing you're doing, you should do it or not, for your best interest, actually. But it is working on your best interest based on the knowledge it has. The heart, however, downloads from a higher intelligence, the universe, God, whatever it is you want to call it. It downloads from a higher intelligence. And because of that, whatever it says, because this has not experienced it, because the mind has not experienced it, would not make complete sense with the mind. And so the mind, in its best to protect you, will speak against that thing, will convince you, talk you out of not doing that thing. And then it just slides. It just slides. Now, from a personal story of mine, the actions that I took because I felt like taking them, not necessarily because I had an end goal to them, are the actions that have led me to where I am today. They are the actions that have actually led me to making these videos or this video series today. And I will explain, right, with my own life example. So, at the time, I think around 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023, thereabout, I saw this video that said 1,000 push-ups a day keeps homosexual away. That was by Andrew Tate when he and his brothers were still in prison or something like that. And so I said, okay, what if I can do 1,000 push-ups a day? At the time, I could not do 100 at a stretch. Couldn't even do 50 at a stretch. And so I dedicated myself and I was doing it every day. Like I would stretch it out. Before the end of the day, I would do 1,000 push-ups. Before 12 noon, I had done 500. Before 4 or 5 p.m., I would do another 500. And before you know what was happening, 30 days straight, 40 days straight, up to like 45 days, I was doing 1,000 push-ups. To me, it was just an action I was taking. But that action started to teach me about a lot of things. First, it was about the reserve strength that we have inside of us. Talking about a lot of things, but let's not get into that. Now, from doing that, then I went to do my NYSC, National Youth Service Corps, and I went to serve, right? During my service here, I also started running, and I was doing my exercise outside the compound because I lived at the Corpers Lodge for a while. So I was doing my service like inside the compound actually, but not like in the main building. I would put a mat and I would be doing my training. And how did this training come about? I realized since I'm already doing 1,000 push-ups, since I've been able to do 1,000 push-ups, my chest was, my back was very straight. I used to bend, my back was very straight, and my body was looking nice. I was like, okay, what if I can add other exercises, right? That will build my entire body, not just push up, building my chest and my arms. Of course, push up also builds the abs, the core. And so what I did was I added a few exercises and I called it the Tribal Chief Training, TCT. A couple of exercises. Now you see how a simple action of push-ups has led to TCT. And so I was doing TCT. My body, if you see me then, hey, if you see me then, so the coppers I was living with saw me exercising. They saw how I took my fitness seriously. And then even I went on a hike, my first ever hike, alone. I did it alone. They thought I couldn't do it. They said nobody has ever hiked. No copper has done that. So I went. I hiked the hill. I came back. And so those experiences, they see me walking out, me going on a hike, even when people said I shouldn't go. There are evil spirits on that plate, on that on the hill that I should not go there. I went, right? And so they made me the GOS, Director of Sports and Socials at the time, right? And so because of that, I was hosting POP parties, right? I was hosting social events like POP parties, like birthday parties, anything else to do with social events around that environment at the time. I was the one that was running the show. Now, bear in mind, I never planned any of this. You see how push-ups led to workouts, led to hiking, led to directing social events. And in that moment, I did my first group hike, took a couple of people hiking, took another group again later on. And I think that was when I started experiencing something I never knew, or I actually suspected was in me, which is conversing and speaking with people. And so on top of the mountain, Aduawaye Mountain, Okeidao in Oyo State. So when I was on that hike, I realized there is more to my life that I've really not explored. All my life, I've seen myself as an introverted person. But then I started noticing that I feel the most alive when I'm doing these social events, when I'm hosting these things, when I'm bringing people together, when I'm impacting knowledge. I feel the most alive. And that was when I started feeling a stronger sense of what my purpose in life is, a stronger sense of what I was placed here on this earth to do. Bear in mind that I'm taking you somewhere with this story. So, From then on, of course, after my service year, I came back and I hosted my first picnic the very next year. Is it the next year or the same year I came back? Can't remember. I hosted my first group picnic and I'm hosting the second one in the next 2 days. Why am I telling you this story? It's simple. The simple action, the higher intelligence. Remember, we're talking about the mind, we're talking about the higher intelligence, we're talking about the mind, we're talking about the heart, right? The God nature, the mind. Now, what the mind, the heart is telling you to do things, for the mere act of doing them, in majority of the time, most of the time, going to lead you to somewhere. I don't know if I'm making sense. But the mind, like we established, is limited. And it wants to protect you, wants to keep you safe. It is going to talk you out of it because it is not seeing the bigger picture. Yeah, that's it now. It is not seeing the bigger picture that the heart, that the higher intelligence, that God, that the spirit is saying. So it will talk you out of it. Right? And so rather than allow it talk you out of it, get in the moment, act on that thing that God is asking you to act on. Does that make sense? Not everything is going to be about, not everything is going to have a reason, like here and now, this is the reason I want to do this. No. Do it for the love of it. Do it because you feel like doing it. Who knows, you might actually enjoy it. Who knows, it might lead you to something bigger, something greater, something higher. This is how I have been learning to live my life. And I didn't even know this was where this video is going to go until I hit record and started talking. This is how I encourage you to live your life. It is much fun. It fills with much energy. In fact, let me not even sell you on it. Let me not sell you on living your life like that. All I'm going to say is, what is it going to hurt? What is it going to cost you if you start listening more to your gut feeling? If you listen more to your gut feeling in the next 15, 30 days, how much more can it impact your life? Right? Do it. Take it as a test. Start listening to your gut feeling. Act on it as it comes. If you enjoy the experience, adopt it as I have to become a way of life. If it doesn't, you drop it. But then at least you've done the experiment, you have the data that this is not for you. So yeah, that is it. If you have questions, right? If you have questions, if you need clarity on anything, if you have objections even, drop it in that comment section. It sounded so natural, but yeah.